casserole season, so today I will be sharing 5 new family favorite casseroles with you, and these are not your average boring bland casseroles. These casseroles are seriously so memorable. You're going to be making them week after week. They're just that good. Let's get to my kitchen and I'll show you what I'm talking about. To kick us off today, we are making one of my favorites of all time, this Chicken Alfredo casserole. It's so good. To the pan on my stove, I added a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. Once the butter melted down, I added in 2 chicken breasts. I did slice my chicken breast in half horizontally, so it appears as 4 chicken breasts. I'm just seasoning the chicken generously on both sides with a dash of salt, pepper, onion powder, Italian seasoning, oregano, and paprika, but you could use any seasonings that you love. I'm going to just let the chicken cook through at this point, and while the chicken's cooking away, into this large pot of boiling water, I'm adding in 10 ounces of penne pasta. I'll just let this pasta cook according to the package instructions. Now that my chicken's cooked through, I'm removing it to a plate, and I'm going to set this plate to the side. Into the same pan that the chicken was cooked in, I tossed in a tablespoon of minced garlic. I gave the garlic a stir, and then I added in a tablespoon of flour. I just stirred that flour in until it looked like a beautiful golden color. Now I added in a half a cup of chicken broth, and I'm just going to let this simmer until the sauce thickens just like this. Now add in 2 cups of heavy cream and let the heavy cream simmer for a couple of minutes to start to thicken. Now that the sauce is a little bit thicker, I'm adding in 2 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese and 1 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. I gave this a really good stir and I let this cheese melt down. Now I'm adding in 2 cups of spinach. If you don't want to add the spinach in, you certainly don't have to, but just stir that spinach in and let it get wilted down just a little bit. Now over to this large bowl, I am adding in the cooked pasta that we just cooked up earlier. Next, add in 12 ounces of steamed broccoli. If you don't want to add the broccoli in, you don't have to, or you could add in any other veggies that you like. Next, add in the chicken. I just cubed that chicken up, and then the sauce. Give this a really good stir. I have a 9x13 baking dish right here. I added the casserole right in there and I spread it out. Just look at how saucy and delicious it looks. Over the top of the casserole, I saved some of the chicken just to put on top to make it look extra nice. I also sprinkled some more Parmesan cheese on the top. This baked in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. I absolutely love this casserole because it has everything in it. You don't need to serve it with any side dishes. You have the carbs, the protein, and the veggies. This is so rich and delicious. It's also very easy to throw together. You need to give this one a try. I'm sure you're going to love it. Now we're getting started on this lower carb fajita casserole, so I'm going to begin by cutting up my vegetables. I'm just dicing 1 red onion, 1 red bell pepper, and an orange bell pepper. Over to my big bowl, I'm adding those veggies right in there. Next, you're going to want to add in 3 cups of cooked shredded chicken. You could boil your chicken up on the stove or the Instant Pot, or I just used part of a rotisserie chicken. Now I'm adding in 6 ounces of softened cream cheese. You want to make sure the cream cheese is softened just so it's easier to stir. Then add in 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning followed by 1 cup of Monterey Jack cheese. Give this a stir, and then once it looks like this, you're going to want to take it over to a casserole dish. Spray the casserole dish with nonstick spray, then add the casserole right in there. Spread it out to the best of your ability, and then I sprinkled more Monterey Jack cheese over the top. Cover this with foil and bake this in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then uncover it and bake it for an additional 14 minutes. Here's my bowl of food. I served ours over a bed of white rice, but you could serve this over tortilla chips, you could serve this in tortillas, or you could just eat it plain. It really is so flavorful and so good. This is a really great lower carb option. Now we're making this sour cream noodle bake, and I know what you might be thinking. The name doesn't sound great, but just trust me, it's amazing. To the pan on my stove, I added in a pound of Italian sausage along with 1 onion that I diced. I'll break the sausage up and I'm going to cook it through right now. And while the sausage is cooking away, over to the other side of my stove, I'm adding in 10 ounces of egg noodles. I'm just adding the egg noodles into a pot of boiling water. I'm going to cook these egg noodles up according to the package instructions. Back over to my sausage. Now that it's cooked through, I'm just removing any excess grease with my spoon. I'm just doing it with a paper towel. It makes it easy like that. My mom taught me that trick. Now I'm adding in a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'm going to stir the garlic around until it's fragrant. Toss in a 14-ounce can of tomato sauce along with a teaspoon of salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. Give this a really good stir. And I just want to thank you for being here today. I know there's other places where you could be. When I started YouTube years ago, I just didn't think anybody would watch my videos, so I really am so thankful for you. And I know you guys have a lot going on in your lives and different challenges, so thank you for showing up and watching my videos. I'm thankful for you. Over to this large bowl, I added in the cooked egg noodles along with a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, half a cup of sour cream, and a cup and a half of cottage cheese, or you could use ricotta cheese if you don't care for cottage cheese. After I gave that a really good stir, I added half of that noodle mixture into a 9x13 baking dish. Then I added half of the sausage mixture over the top, and then I repeated this for a second layer. I sprinkled 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese over the top. This baked in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. You guys, this is so unbelievably good. It is so delicious. It has a ton of flavor. Also, if you have some leftover, it makes for great leftovers for lunch or dinner the next day. I also did serve this alongside of a side salad with spring mix spinach, a little bit of like salad topper, and tomatoes with ranch dressing for the dressing. I know other people have called this chicken cobbler in the past, but I'm just not sure about that name. But that's what we're making now. Into this large pot, I added in 2 large chicken breasts. I'm seasoning them with a dash of salt, pepper, dried parsley, and some thyme. I'm just boiling up the chicken at this point for about 20 minutes on the stove, and then once the chicken's cooked through, I just cubed it into smaller pieces, but you could use a rotisserie chicken or cook up the chicken however you choose to do so. Into this large bowl, I just added the chicken in, and then I added in a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, along with a can of cream of mushroom with roasted garlic soup, or you could just use regular cream of mushroom or cream of chicken. Then I added in a 12-ounce bag of frozen peas and carrots, a cup of milk, and then a dash of salt, pepper, oregano, thyme, and then I gave this a really good stir. I'll set this to the side. Into this big bowl, I'm adding in a box of Red Lobster biscuit mix. I'm also adding in the seasoning packet that the biscuit mix came with. You could use any biscuit mix you like, but this Red Lobster one really makes it super flavorful. I'm also adding in 4 tablespoons of melted butter along with a cup and a half of milk. I know it just looks like I added in a cup of milk, but I also added in a half a cup as well. I gave this a stir, and now over to a 9x13 baking dish. I'm going to add the chicken mixture right in there. After I spread it out, I'll add the biscuit mixture over the top, and then I'll spread the biscuit mixture out carefully. Bake this in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until the edges are golden brown. This casserole is a lot like a chicken pot pie, if you know what I mean, but it's just a lot more fun than a chicken pot pie. It is so perfect for this time of year, and you need to try it out. You gotta make it at least once this year. It really is delicious. Okay, you guys, I was craving chicken and wild rice the other day, and I kind of just came up with this recipe, and I swear it's one of the best recipes in the entire world. You need to listen carefully. So after I cut up my vegetables, 3 carrots, 2 ribs of celery, and a yellow onion, I brought it over to a large 9x13 baking dish. Now I'm adding in 1 cup of wild rice. This is the rice I'm using. I just got it from Walmart. It's not fancy. I just, found it at the store. Next, I'm adding in 3 cups of chicken broth. Now just stir this up, and then you're going to cover the top with foil and bake this in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Once out of the oven, just remove the foil, and then you are going to want to add 1 pound of raw chicken in there. I did cube the chicken into smaller pieces. Also, to make this creamy, add in 1 cup of heavy cream. I promise that makes it just amazing. I also added in 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. I gave this a stir, and now I'm going to mix 4 tablespoons of melted butter and 1 cup of Italian-style panko breadcrumbs together. Just mix it super well to get the breadcrumbs coated in the butter. Then sprinkle this on top. This is just so yummy. Bake this in a preheated oven to 400 degrees now for 20 minutes or until the chicken's cooked through. Okay, seriously, this casserole has to be in my top favorite casseroles of all time, and that's a bold statement for me to say. It is just so delicious. Even my littles just gobbled it up. It really is phenomenal. I promise you're going to love this one. I have so many more videos like this on my channel, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you there. Bye for now.